I can't help it. I'm still happy. These days, you hear about more and more adults and children who, for a variety of health reasons, are faced with the challenge of eating gluten-free. Chef Robert Landolfi is the author of Gluten-Free Every Day. That's a great cookbook, and he's back here in the kitchen to give us some idea about a delicious gluten-free meal that we're going to make here. How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Now, tell us a little bit. What is gluten? I don't know. I hear
gluten is actually a protein.
Yeah.
It can be found in wheat, barley, rye, and oats.
Okay.
So anyone who has celiac disease or is gluten intolerant has to avoid gluten in anything they eat.
Okay, so now what are, if people out there right now might have a gluten problem, what are some of the things that would make them think they were having problems?
Oh, that's the hard part about diagnosing it, because there's so many symptoms. It can be hair loss, it can be numbness in your fingers and toes, rashes, irritable bowel syndrome. It just goes, the list goes on and on. So many doctors in the past used to think people had Lyme disease or Epstein-Barr syndrome or something along those lines. But today, the diagnosis is so much easier because, they look at genes. There's actually a blood test. There's a saliva test. So there's easier ways to detect it at younger ages.
So you could go to your doctor and ask him to test you for that.
He can test you for celiac disease or gluten intolerance.
Okay, so what are we going to be making here today? What are you going to teach us?
What we're going to make today is we're actually going to do feta zucchini fritters. They actually look like little medallions. And the reason I chose these is because right now, these are actually from my garden. You're going to find out right now zucchini and squash is coming in like crazy in everybody's gardens. Yep. Everyone's going to be trying to give it away. The stores are going to be offering it dirt cheap. And this is a great recipe that, just head out, pick up some yellow squash, some zucchini. And what you want to do is you just want to grate it. Just with a hand grater, just like this. If you wanted to, you didn't have a grater, you could actually use a food processor as well. Okay, that would work just fine. Okay, and what you want to do is, the thing about zucchini is it's got a lot of water in it. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take it, and you just want to
squeeze it.
Squeeze all that water that's coming out. You just want to get that water out.
Okay.
Okay, now what some people do is some people actually say they're going to use a little bit of salt on it. I wouldn't do that.
All right.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add some feta cheese in there.
Okay.
A little bit of dill. This is a Vidalia onion. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to use a Vidalia because it's much sweeter.
Got it.
And all I did was mince it.
Okay.
Gluten-free breadcrumbs. Okay. If you're not gluten-free, you can use regular breadcrumbs. Okay. A little bit of egg right in there. And here's where the salt comes in. Now, I didn't use salt on the zucchini at the beginning.
Okay.
Feta cheese tends to be a little bit salty.
All right.
So I'm going to do, just want a little sprinkle. I don't want too much in there. We can always add more at the end.
Just a touch. Okay.
And then a little bit of fresh ground pepper.
I like that sound.
All right, now go for it. That's all you.
Okay, now I just...
What you're going to do is you're just going to mix that up.
Yep.
None of this spoon stuff. Get right in there with your hands.
Oh,
Come
like
on,
my house.
come on.
All right.
It's like you're making meatballs.
Like we do at home. Like we're making meatballs. Okay.
It's like you're working with Grandma.
All right.
All right, and you just want to blend that together.
Okay.
And you'll see, as soon as it gets to the point where you can actually form it into like a little patty or medallion, you're ready to go.
All right.
That looks
okay. You want to get in there?
That looks good. So what you're going to do is just take it like so.
Wipe this on your shirt. Oh, wait, get it.
And just form little patties, just like so.
Okay.
See this? And what we're going to do is we're going to come right over here.
Okay.
I'm just going to add a little bit of canola oil and a little bit of butter. Okay? Now, what's interesting is the oil is going to keep the butter from burning. If you ever put butter in a pan and it cooks too long, it browns out.
So you put the oil in first before the butter.
You put the butter in there.
Okay.
Then we'll take our medallions, and we'll just lay those right in there.
I've got a feeling yours is going to come out a lot better than mine.
Oh, yours is perfect. Yeah. And what you're going to do is you're going to cook these in there for about 3 or 4 minutes per side. Okay, you want to get them golden brown. While those are cooking, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little yogurt dipping sauce. What I have here is I have some of the Greek yogurt, plain. Okay, you don't want to use vanilla. Okay, this is not a dessert. So make sure
plain yogurt.
Plain yogurt, okay? And what we'll do is we'll just put a little bit of yogurt right in our food processor. And then we're going to add some garlic, a little bit of cayenne, and a little bit of lemon juice.
Hey, Rob, how difficult is it, with kids and everything, as far as trying to get them to eat gluten-free? Are there good things that kids can really enjoy? Or?
It's all about being creative. It's all about, as long as it tastes good, they'll eat it. So you can do gluten-free chicken nuggets. You can do, I do lots of great things with sweet potato fries. People always wonder, well, how do you get them crunchy? By tossing them in a little bit of egg white and white rice flour.
Oh, really? Okay.
To get them a little bit crunchy. So that's the key, is just being very creative when you're working with children.
Kids don't want to know that it's healthy or anything.
Trust me, I have kids. They're picky. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little of this dipping sauce right into our cup, just like so.
Now, what about, is there a gluten in ice cream? Is that a concern?
There's no gluten in ice cream.
Oh, good.
Okay, the only time you'll have gluten in ice cream is if it's like a chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream
good.
or something along those lines.
So kids, ice cream is good.
Okay.
That's fine. You can
put a little dollop on there. Okay, now what you can do too is if you were at home and you were trying to do this for an hors d'oeuvre party, something like that, you're not about to sit in front of the frying pan, while your guests are arriving and try to keep up. So the best thing to do is cook off, a couple dozen of them.
Yep.
Put them on a sheet pan.
Okay.
Everybody arrives. Throw them right in the oven for maybe about 7-8 minutes, about 400 degrees. And just crisp them back up again. Then you can put them out on a platter with your dipping sauce. Dish like this, especially because you have feta that's salty, cayenne that's hot. I'd probably go with wine, like a Sauvignon Blanc or something along those lines.
On your website, you had something about corn dogs? Is that
corn dogs.
Gluten-free corn dogs?
I actually had a chance to go to Iowa. Being that Iowa is the corn capital of the world, they actually wanted me to create a gluten-free corn dog, especially for kids, because kids love those.
Yeah.
And I did, and it was a huge hit.
All right, tell us about your website. I understand that's very cool.
My website is www.glutenfreechefrob.
Okay.
If you go on there, it's got all sorts of great information, pertaining to different links, especially if you're newly diagnosed and you're looking for information that's going to help you, especially with meals, or help you find doctors and things like that.
All right, and it's important if you have it, just ask your doctor just to be on the safe side. Test for it. Have your kids tested for it.
Test for it. In our case, our first son, Joseph Anthony, we had a blood test done. He did not have the DQ2 or DQ8 gene. Our second son, Andrew Robert, we had him tested. He has the DQ2 gene, so there's a 40% chance he might have celiac disease in his lifetime.
All right, am I going to get to try one of these now? Okay, good. All right, get this. This is really good.
Isn't that good?
All right, Rob, thank you so very, very much.
Hey, thank you very much.
If you like this recipe, of course, you can also take a look at WTNH.com, Connecticut Styles, the link. Local artist John Houle shows us